Christmas time. What a wonderful time of year for so many young, fortunate Christian children like myself. I know it's hard to believe, because I'm just living the life. La vida loca. I remember getting my first iPod one year. I remember getting my first Game Boy SP one year, and that Shrek game. You slap Puss in Boots. And I'll never forget seeing my first puppy underneath the Christmas tree. A lot of children may share similar merry memories of Christmas morning like myself and wonderful presents that they receive from Santa Claus. But some children may not get these wonderful gifts and presents because if you were naughty, Santa would put coal in your stocking. However, you may be surprised to hear that getting coal is actually pretty lucky because there is something far worse that could be showing up in the middle of the night in December. And he won't bring you anything besides punishment for your bad behavior. You see, naughty children don't just get coal as a retribution. They could be taken away in the middle of the night. And not to the North Pole. See, they are taken away to be beat with a birch rod, then eaten or dragged to the fiery depths of the underworld by a half-demon, half-goat, horned creature called the Krampus. As we are now in December, we thought we would start off the month strong with the opposite of Christmas cheer. Yes, we are starting off miserable, Cauldron Convo style, Kayla style. We're starting with Krampus, the evil twin of Santa Claus. Did you expect anything else from me and my misery? When I was a kid, I was like, Krampus, are you coming for me? I'm packing my bag, I'm getting my suitcase ready, I'm putting my little American Girl doll in there, or my knockoff version of American Girl doll. I'm like, Krampus, you picking me up? You're late. And he's like, what the heck? It's extra fun because when this video is live, it will actually be December 5th, which is
Krampustag.
Good, I can't say it. Which means Krampus night.
No.
No?
Krampustag is Krampus day, Krampusnacht is Krampus night.
Okay, sorry. Oh, well, I guess it depends on when I post. But whatever, it'll be Krampustag and then it'll be Krampus night.
Nacht.
It will be Krampustag and then it'll be Krampusnacht. And we will have a good time.
Oh,
everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We take Krampus to the club.
Hit that sizzle. Oh, wait, not yet. I don't know why I said that. Not yet. Oh, shit. Santa falls. We should have made him Krampus.
Oh, nice.
We should have put the big, fat goblin nose. But anyways, my name is Kayla, and this is Cauldron Convos. Pull the lever, Kronk! You pulled it before I told you! I wanted to start off by saying thank you so much to all of our subscribers here on Cauldron Convos. You mean more to me than you will ever really know. Please consider subscribing to this channel because we post videos every single Monday here on the spine-chilling, paranormal, conspiracy, true crime podcast topics that you want to hear. We do the heavy lifting, the hours of research to make a little bite-sized fun, entertaining, and funny. Trying to be, probably not. You're probably like,
Sunday Scaries Who?
Yeah, Sunday Scaries Who? No, it's Monday. It's
Cauldron Convos.
It's Moonshine Monday. We be gulping back in the woods of Maryland. So this is what you should expect from this podcast on Krampus. We will be talking about what this terrifying creature actually looks like, what the origins are, like where does a legend like this even come from?
We're also going to be discussing whether or not it's actually a legend or if it's fact.
And the ban of Krampus over time because people have tried to ban me, but I will never go. I'm pretending to be Krampus. I would never say that about myself. I'm wearing a donkey shirt from Shrek.
That'll do.
That'll do, donkey. We love a good Catholicism ban. We're going to be talking about some modern day festivities and other stuff, like exploring the Krampus Reddit page maybe some stories.
What is Krampus and what does it look like? So this half-goat, half-demon horned creature sometimes varies in description, but is typically described as hairy, usually brown or black, with cloven hooves. Folklore cloven hooves have been associated with the devil and the horns of a goat. Pointed tongue lolls out of the Krampus's mouth to reveal his fangs.
What are the fangs for?
Those fangs are probably for munching on those bad kids.
Oh man, I love eating them.
Sometimes he is said to have one hoof and one foot, and he has some pretty terrifying, piercing eyes.
Now the pagan Krampus usually has a root, a bundle of birch branches that he carries and sometimes swats those kitties around if he wants to. and it's believed that the root may have had a significance in pre-Christian pagan initiation rites. Now, the Krampus legend stems from Central and Eastern Alpine folklore, or the Alps, so countries like Austria and Germany believe in the Krampus, or just kind of celebrate it as a fun little thing to talk about. The Krampus is basically the anti-Santa, or the villain of Christmas, some like to say.
Yeah, he's been known to scare misbehaved children during the Christmas season and is said to assist Santa Claus or St. Nick's by visiting children on the night of December 5th, also known as Krampusnacht. Santa also goes by Christkindl. Historically speaking, the feast of St. Nicholas is December 6th, so German children and Eastern European children like myself growing up, we would put our shoes outside the front door.
It says it on there, it says Santa gives out oranges.
Well, Santa's a fucking fraud. You think they have citrus in the Alps? No. So on the morning of December 6th, if you were a good child, you would wake up to oranges, walnuts, and chocolates and other sweet little alpine treats inside your shoes. But on the other hand, if you were a bad child, you wouldn't even wake up on the 6th. You would be kidnapped in the middle of the night by the Krampus and beat with his birch rods as he throws you in a wicker basket and takes you to the depths of hell. Using birch rods to beat children was a typical form of corporal punishment at the time. It was oftentimes used as a deterrent to promote good behavior.
And I also find it interesting that St. Nick's Day is on December 6th and Krampusnacht is on December 5th. You know what that means? That means that Krampus and St. Nick are going together as a friend group to each house. One is supplying the good and one is being like, bam, I'm smacking you with some birch rods. Historically, the reason why St. Nick Day is a thing is because there was a man, an actual person named St. Nicholas, who was like a saint who did good deeds. But in this legend, which may or may not be true, we do not know, Saint Nick travels with Krampus, who is like literally a devil, and they go together. They're like house to house to house to house, together we go.
They ride out
They ride at dawn
to give oranges, walnuts, chocolates, and lashes.
But like, does Saint Nick enjoy watching the corporal Never mind, I'm gonna move on from that.
No, Saint Nick's not a Catholic priest.
Oh no, not Father Vincent Lambert. Children are said to wake up on December 6th with either little goodies in the little socks and shoes, or bunch of welts on their butts and stuff, injuries.
So you might be thinking how crazy this horned half-demon, half-goat creature is. So let's talk about where the Krampus legend came from, how this deranged legend even started.
The actual origin of Krampus isn't very clear. Now, some anthropologists and folklorists, which by the way, who is a folklorist? Like, who is like, I want to be a folklorist when I grow up? I guess that seems
somebody
normal.
Who doesn't want to get paid.
Yes! Oh no. What do you want to be when you grow up, Timmy? I want to be a folklorist and talk about the freaking big bad wolf all day. I feel like if you want to do that, like, you're gonna have some nasty kinks. Sorry. If you're a folklorist, type your kink in the comments below. They have pointed out that the Krampus most likely had pre-Christian origins despite his tie to Christmas. So although we associate him with, you know, Santa and Christmas and December and whatever, it doesn't necessarily mean it started from there, because it actually started with pagan tradition. Now, they theorize that celebrations involving Krampus actually date back to the 6th or 7th century CE, but there are no written sources to prove this, so most believe that Krampus was thought to have been part of pagan rituals for the winter solstice. Now, according to legend, he is the son of Hel, which is the Norse god of the underworld. Anyone that tells me Norse god, I'm just like, okay, okay, fine, Norse god, fine. Now, this theory is mostly due to the fact that Krampus's appearance coincides with a number of pagan winter rites, most notably one that sends people parading through the streets to disperse the ghosts of winter. Interesting. I love a pagan ritual of dispersing the ghosts of winter. Bye. Be gone. I need my hot cocoa bombs. I don't want you anymore. Discussing his observations in 1975 while in Erdning, a small town in Styria, anthropologist John J. Honingham wrote that the St. Nicholas festival we are describing incorporates cultural elements widely distributed in Europe, in some cases going back to pre-Christian times. Nicholas himself became popular in Germany around the 11th century. The feast dedicated to this patron of children is only one winter occasion in which children are the objects of special attention. others being Martinmas, the Feast of the Holy Innocents, and New Year's Day. Masked devils acting boisterously and making nuisances of themselves are known in Germany since at least the 16th century, while animal masked devils combining dreadful comic antics appeared in medieval church plays. A large literature, much of it by European folklorists, bears on these subjects. Austrians in the community are quite aware of heathen elements being blended with Christian elements in the St. Nicholas customs and in other traditional winter ceremonies. They believe Krampus derives from a pagan supernatural who was assimilated to the Christian devil. The Krampus figures persisted, and by the 17th century, Krampus had been incorporated into Christian winter celebrations by pairing Krampus with our good old dear St. Nicholas.
Now, in the modern society, it's kind of used as a deterrent for your kids to behave.
Yeah, behave, or Krampus will come at you and get you with his goat horns and his clove hooves.
I remember, this doesn't have to do with the Krampus, I once put my shoes out on December 5th, and on December 6th, I woke up and they were full of coal. And I hysterically cried. I literally...
Oh my god, who would do that?
It scarred me.
And the name Krampus is thought to come from Bavarian, which I just think of pretzels when I hear that. I just want a pretzel right now. Meaning dead or rotten. But most sources actually note that the name Krampus comes from the German word meaning claw. How did the Krampus get associated with Christianity? Now, with the spread of Christianity, Krampus became associated with Christmas, obviously, despite efforts by the Catholic Church. Now, they tried to ban Krampus. Gasp, I know. How could someone do that to Krampus himself, the claw? But during the 12th century, the Catholic Church attempted to banish Krampus celebrations because of his resemblance to the devil. Without the devil, without something like Krampus, how do you tell the good in people?
True.
Like, if it's all good, then, like, there's no distinguishing between good and bad.
They say, why does God allow
it's supposed to
evil
show.
people,
Yeah.
like, theologically? Remember learning about that, and it's because you have to have bad in order to glorify the good.
Yeah, but it's just, like, even crazier that they want to banish, like, a symbol of the devil. When it's like, well, let people choose, and then
It's
you can
like
see
Ouija
the good from the
boards.
bad. Like, hello? Now, Krampus's chains, for example, were not originally a feature of the Krampus, not in the pagan sense. And historians note that Christians added the chains to evoke the binding of the devil, and he actually thrashes his chains, sometimes with bells on them, for dramatic effect. Okay, drama. Okay, Krampus. He's like, I'm coming. He's just bashing those bells. Additionally, it was under Christian hands that Krampus took on more devilish qualities, obviously, such as that little basket that he just, carries so innocently, like Little Miss Red Riding Hood. But no, he carries this basket to carry the bad kids to the underworld, or to his, pizza parlor where he cooks them and eats them, like a big fat grandma's Sicilian.
Maybe the Krampus kidnaps.
Oh my god, Alex Jones, get out of my podcast studio. What are you doing here?
Maybe he brings the kids to Jeffrey Epstein. Maybe he brings the kids to Hillary Clinton and they eat the kids together.
Maybe he brings us to Dalewood Library, which is the sponsor of this video.
Thank you so much to the Wooddale Public Library for providing us with orange soda, Sunkist. Unfortunately, they ran out of squirt this week, but we will take the gracious Sunkist donation from the Wooddale Public Library. Special shout out to the library manager, Dale Wood. We love you.
In the aftermath of the 1932 election in Austria, the Krampus tradition was prohibited by the Dollfuss regime under the clerical fascist Fatherland's Front and the Christian Social Party. And this was because Krampus was seen as a symbol of sin and anti-Christianity. And we can't have that, because if we're in control of you as a government, we can't have you believing in anything else but what we believe in, right? I know that you guys might know about the Austrian Catholic Union newspaper because I request it every morning for my paperboy, but this newspaper requested a Krampus boycott, and the government of Linz, which is the capital of East Tyrol, which is an enclave of Austria, forbade Krampus dances and required all aspiring St. Nicholases to be licensed by the city. Now imagine, you're sitting at the DMV in Austria. I don't even know if they have a DMV. Do they even get licensed there in Austria? Whatever. They get licensed to be St. Nicholas. So imagine the DMV where they get licensing to be St. Nicholas and everyone's dressed up as St. Nicholas. And then you see the guy that's like faking to be Krampus to get the license. What a visual. But anyways, they also pledged to arrest Krampus whenever they saw him, but it ultimately didn't end in a ban, surprisingly. But in the 1950s, the government did distribute pamphlets titled Krampus is an evil man, and warned parents that celebrating him could actually scar their children for life. Now, I kind of agree with that. I wouldn't agree with banning something like that, but I would agree that, like, yeah, that would scar me. Like, I am scarred if I knew about Krampus.
I think this is a great deterrent for misbehaved children. You just tell them a scary demon's going to come out of the woods and eat you.
But, like, I was deterred from being bad by being like, Santa's going to bring you coal. Like, that's all I need. Like, I don't need to know about a half-horned goat that's going to beat my ass with a freaking birch rod.
Well, things in Germany are a little bit more hardcore.
True.
A lot more leather.
Look at me. Like, really? Did I need to be threatened by Krampus? Everyone in the comments, yes, you suck. Additionally, surprisingly, Nazis also banned Krampus because of its pagan origin, which is super ironic because the Nazis were literally torturing children and killing them. Something that Krampus was supposedly doing, even though it's literally a legend, but the Nazis were real and they really did that, but they banned Krampus for some reason. Now let's hop forward in time to the modern day Krampus lifestyle because we're all jealous of them. They do it. We want in. So today there are actually some fun, crazy activities going on every December 5th that you can participate in, including the Wisconsin-Milwaukee Krampus, what's it called again? Krampusnacht. Various countries, including the United States, obviously has parties all over cities. If you go to one, or if you just have a Krampus mask by chance, or if you just want to send a picture of your feet, send it to cauldronconvos@gmail.com. Again, cauldronconvos@gmail.com.
And we will have you on the podcast if you take any photos of hooves at...
Ooh. Honestly, if you take a picture of anything that's not bad, I'll throw it up there for a sec. I just want emails. You know how sad it is to come to an inbox of like one email?
And it's just like a mustard foot or thousands of lines of code.
But in addition to Krampusnacht and all the fun bar crawls and whatever, this one might be my favorite out of the whole podcast. There's something called the Krampuslauf or Lauf or whatever, which literally means Krampus run. During a Krampus run, it's not like a turkey gobble gobble run. This is in America. You're in the Alps. Like, this is hardcore. The Krampus run involves a lot of alcohol, people dressed up as Krampus at a parade, and they scare viewers, sometimes even chasing them. Which, honestly, it sounds like Halloween, but, like, everyone looks the same, and you're just, like, actually being tortured. I love it. That's all I want in life.
Yeah, you think that they do this, like, in October, but
nope,
no Saint
December.
Nick.
No, we love it.
It's
like
jolly.
The day before, like, their, like, holiday, like, their pagan, whatever.
Honestly, if there's a Krampusnacht in New York City, I'd go.
There is.
I would not go to SantaCon.
Let's go tomorrow. Now, basically, this is a way for grown men to heavily drink and scare kids. So if you couldn't make it to your previous Thanksgiving party in the South, you know, you don't got to miss out on it. You can just go to Krampuslauf and have the same experience. I'm triggered. I can't even say that.
In 2019, there were some reports of drunken and disorderly conduct by masked Krampuses in some Austrian towns.
I can imagine, like, the police, like
that's
answering
every
the phone.
year. Every year.
Hello?
Hello?
Help me, there's someone flogging me in a Krampus mask.
Oh no, we'll be right there after we leave the disco.
They're busy. Okay. They never come. Krampus eats everyone.
Tut mir leid. We were so busy. Excuse me, my leather won't come off.
We need like a strobe light going.
It is customary to offer a Krampus schnapps, a strong distilled fruity brandy. The Krampus runs may also include Perchten, similarly wild pagan spirits of Germanic folklore, and sometimes female representation, although the Perchten are properly associated with the period between winter solstice and January 6th. Interesting.
Almost Armenian Christmas.
It's like between, you know, the 23rd of December.
It's like a female version of a Krampus.
It's funny because the female Krampus is late.
What? Oh. Get ready. In 2013, after several Krampus runs in East Tyrol, a total of 8 injured people, mostly with broken bones, were admitted to the Linz District Hospital, And actually, over 60 other patients were treated on an outpatient basis. A tourist actually attended the Salzburg Krampuslauf and wrote about their interesting and painful experience. They described the Krampuslauf that they went to in Salzburg as some would flee and try to seek refuge in a shop or restaurant only to be pursued by a determined Krampus. With so many easy targets, we again managed to escape largely unharmed. At times, we were chased, jostled, and struck, but compared with the brutality we witnessed, it was obvious we had been spared the full brunt of what Krampus could muster. So essentially, they had a bad experience, and they also went to 2 other Krampuslaufs and said the same thing happened. These Krampuses were literally chasing and flogging people with their birch sticks, which is crazy to think about.
I love that they went back for more.
Yeah, they're like, we gotta go to all, like, we can't just go to one. Like, we need the full experience.
I want my butt cheeks to be red.
I know. Oh my God. People probably go to them on purpose.
I don't want to sit.
People are probably like, oh no, I fell.
I don't want to be able to sit on the toilet.
Oh, Krampuslauf.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Now, this is random because who would have thought that the postcard industry ever has peaks and dips? But it did in Germany and Austria in the 1890s, which is pretty random, but it opened the way for Krampuskarten. And these holiday cards weren't meant to make you feel nice. Nope. These postcards said things like Groß von Krampus, which means greetings from Krampus, and showed Krampus stuffing a distressed child into his satchel or preparing to hit one with his bundle of birch sticks.
These are the most German greeting cards I've ever heard of.
It's like, Hallo, how are you? And it's like the front is like,
Hallo, wie geht's dir?
And many of these postcards depicted Krampus going after children with his sticks, leading them away in chains, or carrying them off in his bag.
It's like a card ripping a heart out of a child, and it says Ich liebe dich, which means I love you. It's like, here's a
Krampus,
heart.
like,
yeah.
Love it. But there were also a little bit more scandalous cards out there about Krampus. For example, in the early 20th century, there were cards of Krampus proposing to women. Now, wouldn't that be your dream, to be proposed by someone like Krampus? But there is a card where Krampus is shown as a larger woman whipping tiny men with birch sticks and carrying them off in her satchel.
Now that's the most German card yet.
Olga. And there's also a card where a woman is dangling Krampus in the air, holding his bundle of birch sticks behind her back. Love putting out Krampus in his place. So Americans are actually recently in the 2000s fascinated with Krampus for some reason. There was a movie called Krampus in 2015, which is the most popular Krampus movie. There's also a lot of low-budget Krampus movies, which if you watch, please let us know. There's even a Krampus comic book, which, okay, go for it if you want.
Everyone needs a hero.
And now we're gonna read a story that I found on Reddit about Krampus because it's very scary and a little chilling, and I just want to share with you guys.
Make sure you mention the user.
Oh, it says deleted.
/deleted.
User is deleted.
Looks
4
like the
years
Krampus
ago.
got him.
The Krampus ate him and he deleted his Reddit. He was like, what is this? Delete. Okay. My real encounter with Krampus as a young boy. What? I feel like the title says it all.
Can you imagine Krampus
with his finger like nail,
Grinch
like,
fingers?
scrolling. It's like hairy and the cloven feet, the toes, the hooves. I mean, why can't I? Anyway, growing up, I never heard about anything evil when it came to Christmas. My parents always took me to see Santa every year, and I never got coal in my stocking. I believed in Santa up until about age 9. So every year I always acted super good in the months leading up to Christmas. You know, as a kid, you want to get as many presents as possible. I still remember the excitement I would get every year. That same year, my parents worked a lot of late nights, so they would always leave me with my older sister, who was 16 at the time. I never really got along with her until now, as now we're adults that don't live with each other, but my sister was especially mean that year, inviting her boyfriend over some nights. Krampus is the boyfriend. Sorry. I would threaten in the cards. Sissy getting naughty. Sissy naughty. I would threaten to tell Mom if she brought him over again. And my kid mind would make other ridiculous threats, such as the fact that I would tell Santa so he would put coal in her stocking because she wasn't following the rules. And one day, she had enough of my bickering and retaliated. She started out with, you know what's even worse than getting coal in your stocking? Of course, me being a curious little boy, I pressed for information. What's worse? I would ask with a tough little attitude. Then she said it. Krampus. I remember the nerve it struck when she said that name. Of course I didn't know who or what Krampus was, but it just sounded bad. What's Krampus? I probed. I can still see her evil grin ingrained in my memory when she told me. You know Santa isn't real, right? I always had a sneaking suspicion, but of course I asked, what do you mean? Don't pretend you don't know. Mom and Dad buy you all your gifts, and the guy you go see at the mall you call Santa is just a man in a beard doing his job. I wasn't really surprised. This just confirmed my skepticism of Santa. But do you know what is real? She continued. Krampus, the evil spirit that comes and takes little boys like you to the underworld. My impressionable mind believed every word she said, and I was terrified. He comes and takes little boys that tattle. All you need to do is tattle 3 times during the Christmas season, and Krampus, the Christmas demon, comes and gets you. Her twisted little mind even brought up 2 other times I snitched on her for something stupid within the past week. This alone freaked me out, because a week later, I tattled on her for eating my Pop-Tart off my plate. Stop.
If it was cinnamon, I understand.
Yeah, relatable. After I tattled, I thought about what she told me the week before. The true legend states that Krampus comes to punish children who misbehave. So my sister had twisted the story in her favor. Anyway, here's when things got weird. This was the same year I realized I was attracted to women. I was in my parents' room one night when they were gone. I was looking for batteries for my RC car and went snooping through the drawers. Lo and behold, I found my dad's Playboy stash. Ew. It's all Krampus porn. I looked through that thing for a good half hour before putting it back. This was a busy Christmas season. The same year I realized Santa was not real was the same year I discovered women. At that point, nothing had happened with Krampus, so I had chalked up that story to my sister trying to scare me. But I think looking at that magazine was a big mistake, and to this day, it's the reason why I got a visit. It was that same night, if I'm not mistaken. Christmas was just days away. I woke up in the middle of the night extremely thirsty. The house was pitch black except for an overhanging microwave light in the kitchen. I got my water, then headed back towards my room. It was at that moment when I heard a noise on the roof. I remember thinking if I was second-guessing myself about Santa being real or not. I whispered to myself, Santa? I walked towards the window and saw what I thought was a deer outside the window. Not the hooves. I thought maybe the noise came from the deck and not the roof. Maybe the deer had walked on the deck and jumped into the yard. But I took a closer look and realized I may not be looking at a deer.
I'm looking at my sister's boyfriend, who's watching me through the window.
It turned around, and that's when I knew I also like men. It turned around, revealing its really large body and glowing red eyes. The antlers were not antlers, but horns. I remember thinking that it looked like Beast from Beauty and the Beast. I was frozen in fear as I saw the creature start walking towards me. We locked gazes. Then he smiled, his teeth razor sharp. Then he jumped straight up out of sight, like he jumped straight into the sky and into thin air. I immediately ran into my sister's room. I shook her awake in a state of fear, explained that I saw Krampus. It was then through her groggy tiredness that she admitted she made it all up. She got up and walked me back to my room. She flipped the light on and gave me a shocked look. I looked back at her. What? What the hell is this? She leaned towards my bed and picked up a magazine. It was the Playboy magazine.
He's just asleep with the Playboys.
He's just like...
Falls asleep.
I was shocked. I did not know what to say. I mean, I was just baffled, and all I managed to spew out was, "That's Dad's." "Of course it's Dad's, you freak," she replied. "Noogie." I made that part up. I tried to convince her that I didn't know how it got there, but she didn't believe a word I said. Just then she stopped me. "If I catch you with this again, I'm going straight to Mom and Dad." I just looked down and agreed. Okay. Luckily, my sister was cool with it. To this day, I've never figured out how that magazine got there or what that creature was that I saw outside. All I can say is that it's very possible that I saw the real Krampus that night, and I was being warned for misbehaving. What?
Krampus is gone by a few days before Christmas, baby.
True.
Krampus is in Aruba. He probably just saw that little creepy boyfriend beeping, and he's like, Here, think about me later. And he puts
Yeah.
a Playboy on his
Like,
bed.
Sissy's boyfriend's a furry. Like, he at the furry convention.
Furry, how you doing?
Krampus.
Shout out to
furries.
Tom, who
I
likes
wonder
furries, who goes bowling with furries.
My sister and I have never spoken about that night again, and I'm honestly too afraid to bring it up. Probably because he knows that it's her boyfriend that's the furry. And hopefully I will never have another encounter with Krampus or my sister's boyfriend because he was getting freaky.
Now, on a serious note, furries are good people. My friend Tom was at a bowling alley once, and he was going to bowl with his friends, and the furries had rented out the bowling alley, and they just let them bowl for free.
Honestly, kind. So overall, Krampus is a fun little legend of the Alps, and we love a good Norse pagan tradition. So, do I see anything wrong with Krampus? No, as long as he's not flogging me down.
And something to kind of take to note is oftentimes these legends and traditions always begin with a hint of truth.
Ooh.
So, if you are a child in the Alps, behave.
Beware.
I purposely want to go to Krampuslauf and maybe trip a couple times
Oh no, I fell.
so I can get an extra couple hooves.
Cloven hoof. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video about Krampus and learned a lot about the history of the Alps and the fun little December quirks that it has. I hope you guys have a lovely December, and I hope this is a great Krampusnacht for all of you that are watching it today.
Ja, Glückwunsch Krampusnacht.
We love you very much. And by the way, if you are here, just consider subscribing. Hit that, just hit it.
Glückwunsch
Just hit it.
Krampusnacht.
Hit it like Krampus hits with the birch sticks, baby, because you won't regret it. Just like Krampus does. He's like, no regrets, Saint Nick. Bye.
Bicycle.
Bicycle. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time here on Cauldron Combos, baby.
Gute Nacht, mein Kinder.
Good night. Happy Krampusnacht. Bye.